At the end of the day, you have to wake up and compete. You can't be stagnant. You gotta move forward. You gotta prove yourself every single day.
This is like a motivational episode, baby. I love it. Hector dropping bombs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You guys showed so much love for season 1. The Barracks is back for season 2. Brought to you by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Today we're going one-on-one with OpTic Gaming owner Hex. Hex reacquired the beloved OpTic brand last October and added a new name back to the Call of Duty League, OpTic Chicago. The mastermind who made the Green Wall a household name is now back home. I have a lot of respect for this man. Honestly, my career sort of skyrocketed when I started coaching the OpTic team a couple years back. And just to be honest, Hector is a brilliant businessman, great at creating content, and bringing a lot of people up with him throughout the gaming scene. So Hector, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining me.
That's the only thing you have to say about me. You don't want to add on a couple more things.
We can make the whole episode of your accolades. Listen,
I'm
you're the
good.
man.
Thank you for asking. Thanks for the invite. Season 2, episode 1. I'm all about it.
It's a great way to start. Love to see it. All right, starting off the episode today, we got Shot Callers, basically an interview segment where we talk about recent CDL events and sort of your rise throughout the Call of Duty scene throughout your career. So first, we saw the roster changes that went down during the offseason of CDL. Big changes being made with a lot of teams, basically due to the 5v5 to 4v4 switch. We've got Dashy back on OpTic Gaming now. What are your thoughts on that? What's the prep like for the guys so far? What's your thoughts on Dashy being back with OpTic, with you guys under your roster? How are the boys looking so far?
Going back to 4v4 from 5v5 was something that inevitably was going to happen at some point or another. In my opinion, obviously Call of Duty has been for the longest time played in 4v4, at least on console, or at least the scene that we're currently in. Obviously on the PC Pro Mod side, it's always been 5v5, but I've been playing it since Call of Duty 2, and serendipity would have it that I wear my original Call of Duty 2 shirt. And it's always been 4v4. So going back to that, sort of made it easier for the transfer of Dashy to us and Arcitys to FaZe. Preston obviously came in sort of middle of the season, so there wasn't there was a lot of good work done. But obviously his path had to go somewhere else, and for us to have the opportunity to bring Dashy back, which was obviously a Green Wall favorite, was almost meant to happen in the way that it all shaped out.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Dashy, one of the most explosive players. I coached the guy for a while. His playmaking ability is like none other when he's in a good state of mind. Kind of a rough year for him throughout the last year for the first year of CDL, but seems like you guys are in a pretty good spot leading forward.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people had a lot of questions about Dashy, whether or not he was going to be as late as he was when you were coaching him, or as unresponsive as he was when he was on LA last year. But 2 years does a lot to a man, and having been separated from the Green Wall, not having felt the love of the Green Wall, made him realize a couple of things, and he knows that it's time to grow up. We just moved him into his apartment yesterday, sort of. Moved him in, like all the boxes are in, but then he broke the fob like on day one.
Classic.
It was a classic move, but everybody's here. Everybody's right next to the Hex quarters. So we've had a lot of time to just hang out and be a team. Above anything else, I think chemistry outside of the game does a lot for a team, especially within the culture of what we create around here. I mean, you know it better than anyone, right? Being an OpTic, it's important, right? The team meals, the team hangouts, the content creation days where everybody's just literally hanging out, and the time to press record is just a simple carry-on over conversation from what they were having 10 minutes ago. So having them here has been really good, and obviously it's showing, right? Like even formal being here, it's showing in the way that they're playing. Now, obviously everybody's going to say, well, you guys always start off hot through the middle of the year, you get warm, and then you get cold towards the end of the year. I sort of agree, but I know that there has been external circumstances in the past that have sort of led to that sort of situation on our team. So hopefully this year, again with the culture that we continue to create, this will be a good year throughout the entire year.
Love that. I think all the guys being together is just, like you said, a great environment to be in. It's a lot easier to improve when you can talk face to face, for sure. Also, let me know when I can stop by. I missed the guys. I want to go hang out. I haven't seen Dashy in a long ass time. It'd be cool to see him.
You know the rule, man. The day that any OpTic member needs to ask whether or not they can come to the Hex quarters, they stop being OpTic members. So
okay.
Don't ask again. Just show up. Text me.
Just
I'm
show
on the
up.
way. Show up.
Sounds
That's
good.
always.
All right.
Mi casa es tu casa, TeeP.
I'm trying to be polite. I like that. All righty. We got the kickoff classic that happened recently. Chicago, your team, looked really good versus LA Thieves. Kind of smoked them. What did you like to see coming out of that game? Did you like to see the fire out of the guys? Do you think there's room for improvement? What was it like watching the former Optic Gaming LA team members who are now on the Thieves kind of get beat down a little bit?
You know what? It's a roster full of talented players. Obviously, I've been a very, very loud voice in saying that if they would have beat us last year, they would have gone on to win all of champs.
Yeah.
They just cut heat, and they were just so good. So they were a well-oiled machine. And obviously with Slasher and Kenny, and I think somebody else was in Dallas during those matches. Like, you can see the level of competition. I mean, Slasher's no joke. Kenny's no joke. TJ. And I'm forgetting the fourth, Temp. Like, they're all proven players. So it's one of those things where I do think that in their scenario, yes, it does apply where they heat up as the year progresses. So as much as it was a show match, everybody did take it seriously. What comes after that is obviously like the thing that matters, and that group is full of professionals. They have an amazing infrastructure in the background with the business unit of theirs, and I think that they'll find their way. They'll find their way to the top of the 5.
Yeah,
definitely not top 1. You know what I mean?
No way they can make it there. I think they need a little bit more time. They're going to improve a lot, like you said. They have a great team. They have JCap coaching them now too, so I think they'll be in a pretty good spot for the rest of the season. Okay, your team, your lineup is a kind of interesting dynamic. Obviously, Seth has been with you for forever. Formal's been with you guys for a while too. I know he split off for a little while, but you guys had your dynasty run, everything like that. So you have Seth and Formal, who have a lot of history, obviously, being from the dynasty lineup, all that type of stuff. And then 2 younger players in Envoy and Dashy. What has it been like seeing the younger players kind of improve under, your oversight and the side of Seth and Formal? How has it been like seeing them you've been along for basically most of their, if not all of their career so far. So what's it sort of been like on the younger side and on the older side?
Especially with Scump, obviously it's been an honor and a pleasure to see, my young brother grow up to be the man that he is today, right? Obviously starting from coming from Quantic and then starting his career here at OpTic.
Yeah, you stole it from me, dude.
I did. I had to. It had to be done.
It's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those cases where, and I didn't even obviously spot the talent, right? It wasn't up to me. But when he came on, you saw an immediate sort of attachment to the brand, and then the fans being attached to him because of his personality, because of his relationship with Nadeshot, and that long storied career that he's had up until this point has all been with us, right? He's always wore green, and mature to the age that he is now, and then sort of, taking these younger people under his wing, first with TJ and Dashy, and then now with Dashy and Dylan. I like it, man. For the longest time, I was searching for a young up and coming talent that would fit, our team well.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Karma being a grown adult, with Crimsix being a grown adult, and obviously with T2P being as old as they were, I knew that at some point or another I was going to have to find someone young. And Dashy, when he came on, I knew that he was going to be that, right? He's a star player, flashy plays, like he fits the Optic Gaming role very, very well. One of the best snipers ever, right? Can we all agree on that? OpTic started as a sniping clan, so obviously there was a lot of points that were hit when he came on, and the way that the crowd attached to him was like, I mean, the way that I got attached to his play was indicative of what he will be for this brand, right? Like it was the future. So having them here, and having Scump and Formal sort of guide them into what it is. I mean, Envoy being the in-game leader and the shot caller the way that he is, just goes to show that he is mature enough to take on sort of those leadership roles. And obviously Seth works his butt off every single day in everything that he does. So I know that the thirst is still there for him. I know that now more than ever the thirst is there for Formal. And then having those 2 young talent just makes the future brighter for us.
You talked a little bit about the natural in-game leader, Envoy sort of taking that role a lot of the time. Has anyone else really stepped up into that role, or has everyone sort of decided with the team that he's the go-to guy? He's going to be the one that they go to when times are tough in a specific situation in a match. Is Envoy stepping up and being that guy for the team at all times?
That is a leader's choice, right? If you're a natural born leader, you rise to the occasion whenever your help is needed. Whether he's the designated shot caller, I don't know. Whether he's the one that people are going to latch onto as the leader, I don't know, right? It all depends on the situation, the game, the match. The good thing about the team that we have right now is that it's full of veterans, and also we have like hot talent coming up that are super good at the game, that at some point or another, one of them is going to make a call and the other ones are going to follow and agree or disagree and right in the moment. And that's where leaders are made. So I think the good thing is that everybody has a voice, and they just wait for the one to step up. Lately, it's been a little bit of Envoy, so that's good.
That's awesome, for sure. A great balance of a lineup, and I feel like they're looking good to start the season. I've been watching a lot of scrims. I'm excited to actually get these home series started and see how the boys perform, especially early on in the year. You guys have always trended to be one of the top teams. It should be a really good time.
I agree.
Let's shift the focus now on you reacquiring your baby, your brand, right? What immediate goals do you have to continue on the Optic Gaming legacy? What have you learned? Is there any advice from this entire experience? I'm sure it's been a very stressful process with the whole switch over to NRG, and then you reacquire Optic back, the sales, this and that, the roster building. First off, how happy are you to have your baby back? And what are your immediate goals for Optic Gaming for the next year or two?
To put it into words, I don't think I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to put into words the feeling that it complete, I guess. I feel like I am myself again. It was tough seeing, it under somebody else's control. It was tough. And granted, right, the toughest part was the fact that it was me that did it. I was the one that sold the company. I was the one that sold majority of the company. Yeah. But I think that it had to be done. I don't regret it. I didn't regret it while it was in mine, because I knew that at some point or another I was going to get it back. Somehow I was going to get it back. It's my life's work, right? This is something that I want to die as OpTic X at 103 years old. I've decided, and I want my legacy and Optic's legacy to be something that lives for a very long time. If and when esports become as big as it's going to get, when the Call of Duty League becomes bigger than the NBA, becomes bigger than the NFL, becomes bigger than any soccer or football, or is up there with those giants, I want to be a part of that. I want to be able to be in Optic Stadium, the owner's box for a little bit, but down in the field, because that's how I get down, down in the trenches. I want to do that. And I knew that I was not going to be able to do that because of what I had done. And that hurt me for a very long time. It hurt me for years. Like, it weighed on me for a very long time. And getting it back, it sort of gives me that second shot at, fulfilling that vision of mine that is being an owner in a league, in a stadium that's mine. Walking through the halls because it's mine. Walking onto the field because it's mine. Saying hello to my players because they're my players. I want that to be the thing for forever, and that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Love to hear that. I'm just excited for you, man. I know we've obviously talked on the back end of what your plans are and all this, all the stress leading up to this situation. But I'm excited to see where you can take the brand. Obviously, there's not a lot of people. You're a great person to sort of follow as a role model in terms of brand building, content creation, things like that. And I think it's not only the passion that you have, like you just speaking towards the future of what this league can turn into is not only awesome, but just from firsthand experience, like I just feel like you obviously care for the people under you, right? But you help a lot more in like building them up as personalities, as people, as players, as talent, whatever it is. And that's the main difference. So I'm excited for you, man. And congrats again on reacquiring. It's awesome.
Thank you. It's no fun where you're the only one having fun, right? So the more people that you can bring on the boat with you, the better. So I'm all about that, right? Yeah. They've all helped me through some super struggling times, But I've always been this way, right? I've always been the big brother. I'm the eldest in my family, so that role has been. I was born for this role, so I'm glad that I get to be that.
Love to hear it. Okay, we got a tougher segment coming up now. It's called Hip Fire. So we're gonna have a 90-second timer. We have 18 different questions for you. We're talking Call of Duty maps. We're talking CDL players. We're talking this. We're talking that. So we got 90 seconds. Let me start up my clock real quick.
I'm ready.
You ready to go? Okay.
Yeah, look, I'm holding the microphone like a rapper. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. And then just to keep in mind too, we keep score here on the Barracks, all right? So you're going to be going up against some of the other guests we'll have throughout season 2 and see if you can take the number 1 spot.
Am I the first team owner?
Yes, you are.
All right, well, I'm going to set the bar high for the other team owners. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm not going to be able to beat a professional player in knowing where the spawns are,
You're
right?
in your own category for sure.
But I'll tell you what, I am the best 40-year-old Call of Duty player, period, right now. There's not a single person that plays at my level, at my age, period. I play every single day. I'm putting kids on the ground every single day.
It's impressive. The Phenom. I watched a little bit. I watched a little bit. I've actually played a little bit with you guys too. You guys are nasty.
If these could keep up with this, unstoppable.
Easy.
I start myself.
Okay. All right. We're gonna start this in 3, 2, 1. Who had the most kills in the Kickoff Classic for OpTic Chicago?
Dylan.
Who had the least kills in the Classic for OpTic?
Formal.
Who had a higher KD for the Classic, Scump or Dashy?
Scump did.
What was the last map in the series against LA Thieves at the Classic?
Garrison.
Name 2 of the top 3 players with the highest overall KD last season for CDL.
Simp, Envoy, and Arcitys.
Which team had the worst S&D win record last season?
Surge.
How many countries are playing in the CDL this year?
3.
Which team is Bance on?
Bance is currently in Toronto.
Which COD game had Detroit multiplayer map?
Advanced Warfare.
Which COD game had Overgrown?
Call of Duty 4.
Which COD game had Kowloon?
Call of Duty 2.
Which game had Estate?
Modern Warfare 2.
Which game had Hijacked?
Black Ops 2.
Theory is the head coach for which team?
Paris. No, the TK.
Who is the oldest player in the league?
Clayster. 28.
Which team won the Atlanta FaZe Cold War Clash tournament?
Me. TSC and company.
What is the first name of the Woods operator in the Black Ops series?
Pass.
Okay, and we're out of time.
I didn't even know what you said. Wait, what, did you say Calhoun?
Yeah.
Was that Calhoun?
Kowloon.
Kowloon? Yeah, that wasn't Call of Duty 2. I was thinking of the Call of Duty player Calhoun. Shout out to him.
Yeah, it did kind of sound like that now that I think about it. Okay, let's tally up your correct answers. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not bad. Okay, not bad. I think if we put you in your same category, do you think other owners are going to match up with you?
I can tell you 100% that the only owner out there that could probably compete would be Nadeshot.
Nade, yeah.
But even then, he plays way too much Valorant. I think even in Hastro,
dang,
we haven't seen him at an event in 14 years.
Whoa,
we haven't seen him since he competed. All right, and I get it, daddy life and all that.
Alrighty, nice job on Hipfire. Now we're doing a little bit of VOD review. So basically, we're going to play this clip, and it's of a crazy 11 kill streak from Dashy through the CDL Kickoff Classic. Mm-hmm. And while this is going on, if you could just walk me through sort of what the team's preparation has been like, what their scrim schedule's sort of been like, what's been their mindset, what's their energy been like on a day-to-day basis, because they're practicing out of hex quarters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I press play, by the way.
So how have they been being on time? Because when I was coaching, that was my biggest pet peeve. How have they been so far? Be honest with me. How's Dashy been? Because he was one of the worst.
Yeah, Dashy's been good. He's been late maybe once. He's left trash around once. But again, more than anything, and I don't feel bad for him, but more than anything, he's got a lot to prove to himself. Fortunately, it's not anything in game. Obviously, the talent alone, he can play just on talent. But for him, it's the perception that he is always late, the perception that he needs a babysitter, the perception that he isn't, an adult or adult enough to be in places at the right time. So, more often than not, if someone's late, it's because of me and me taking them to lunch, and that's on me. And I'm not apologizing.
That's fine. You're allowed to do that, You take care a lot for them.
I do.
It's the least you can do. And you're completely right. I think it's like one of the few things that's holding Dashy back, right? Like, he's such a complete player. He's such a playmaker. I think watching that VOD is a perfect example of what he can bring to the table. There's multiple highlight clips throughout, Black Ops 4 and even last season 2 where, we saw him sub in for that S&D last year, just, playing off the bench, able to do have a crazy S&D map. And he's one of the few players too. You already brought up the whole sniper aspect, but besides that, a player like Dashy just needs more championships, and he's in a great situation to do it if he can stay focused and continue to improve and play like he has been so far, at least what I've seen in the Classic and in scrims and things like that. I will, I love the guy, right? I think the potential for him is just insane. Yeah, so do I. He and I both sort of had parallel years last year, right? He was apart from the green wall, right? Yeah. The green wall's rooting against him. The green wall booed him in the opening event. Like that doesn't feel good, especially when they were just chanting Bruce 2 months prior. So him through that, me through not having that, like we went through similar things. True.
And nothing is more eye-opening than losing that which you like or you love or you appreciate. And we both sort of lost that, and I have a lot to prove. He's got a lot to prove. Everybody, right? Everybody in the team has a lot to prove. Envoy being the new OpTic in a sense, he's got a lot to prove. Formal, obviously, like he didn't have a great last 2 years. Obviously, internet is the only issue. Obviously, he didn't know that. Obvious to everybody else, but he didn't see that, or he did. He just didn't want to move. Yeah. Several things sort of put it to a place to where everybody has something to prove, and nothing's more dangerous than that, especially in my group. Yeah. Because as much as I like them, as much as I would do anything for them, they need to go somewhere, I'm taking them. They want to fight somebody, I'll fight for them. They want to do anything, I got their back. But when it comes to work, when it comes to being us and doing what we got to do, I don't take it easy on nobody. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care if you feel bad. I don't care. Work needs to be done. Everybody has their own weight to carry, and we're all here to make that great, and we're going to continue to do that. And when you have that mentality and everybody's in agreement that is the job, that is what we're going to do, it makes everything else so much easier because everybody is accountable for themselves. And that's where we're more dangerous. So that's what I'm looking forward to more than anything this year, to have everybody prove what they need to prove.
Moving on now, we got our 5G tier list. So basically, for this segment, we have S tier down A, B, C, D. Mm-hmm. S tier being 5G for 5G network.
Ah, nice.
But throughout these ranks, I need your top 5 CDL teams going into the regular season, and I'll give you thoughts on where your top 5's looking like here.
Let me bring them up because I don't. Yeah. I could do it. Okay. I'm going to start with the world champ. I'm going to start out with the. I'm not going to obviously mention my team because that's a given. So
yeah, of course.
We'll put OpTic at the top, and then we'll do Dallas Empire out of respect because they're the returning champions.
Okay.
Out of respect for my brother Crimsix, he did a lot for us. He's a good man. Obviously Atlanta FaZe. And then after that, it's a tie between. It's not a tie. I'm gonna go with my sister, Ashley Midnight. So I'm gonna say Røkkr, and then I'm gonna say Mutineers.
Mutineers, okay. They look pretty.
5.
Yeah, they look pretty good too in the Kickoff Classic too. So you got OpTic, Empire, FaZe, Røkkr, and Mutineers. That is not a bad top 5 at all. I thought you were gonna maybe slip a LA Thieves in there.
Look, as I was saying that, I'm thinking in my head, Nate shot, right? Like getting a FaceTime call from Nate. I was like, yo, what the hell? So 100 Thieves.
Okay. I like that a lot. I like the Røkkr
only
pick.
Because I'm kidding.
I like the Røkkr pick. I cannot believe they got that lineup too. When some of these roster changes go down, I gotta give a lot of props to Minnesota's organization making the moves that they got there. Hell of a lineup. And yeah, Mutineers has been, I like to call them like a scrappy team. They've been put in, interesting situations in terms of bringing in some young talent. And I think they they do a great job of utilizing some of the young talent that they have. They have Awakening, who ended up, he's starting to look like a star player. We'll see if he can put it together for another great year. They have Neptune hopping in, and you see some Halo talent sort of making their way.
Neptune.
So great.
I'm excited about that. And look, you asked me this question after the first event, and it'll change, except for my team, but it'll change. The reason I'm giving you this list the way that it is because of the performance that just happened. If you're asking me who has the best brands out there, then I'm obviously going to keep myself at the top. Then I'm going to go down the list, and obviously 100 Thieves is going to be way up there because my little brother knows how to play that game. You know what I mean?
Facts. And I think an interesting thing to note too, like to that point. I will say this. John Robinson, he said that no other hoodie org is going to sell more than them.
All the hoodie orgs. Obviously, you're up there. You're up there with the best of them. Who do you think your rivals will really be going in this one, aside from just in game, but also in the hoodie sales?
In the hoodie org rivalry, that's a good question. I don't know. I can't say I've taken a look around. I'm not really sure that we have any competitors here in the CDL.
I can guarantee, and I mean with the capital G, that I am going to continue to sell more hoodies than anybody in Call of Duty has ever sold. Period. End of story. In order for them to catch up, and it's unfair, right? Because obviously they have Nate, that's my brother. He was part of the Green Wall. So for my brother, Ron Jobinson, to say that there's no other org out there, he forgot what league he came into.
I think you picked a really good top 5 for the 5G tier list. Maybe I would what would I change? Maybe I'd slot down Mutineers and swap out that pick. I don't know if I'd put you guys number 1 at the 5G spot, but I don't know. It's
Who would
hard
you swap out for Mutineers?
I think I would probably... trying to think.
See? Just don't think
it's a tough one.
If it doesn't come naturally, you're forcing it.
I need a second. You know what I mean?
What?
I want to throw
New York. I think Clay's going to be able to pull something off.
I've seen Clay tweeting about some of their scrims recently. Yeah. And on my podcast, I talked down on them a little bit. I just thought they're going to be in a rough situation with the whole visa situation going on, with the Zuma situation that happened too. But I see some of their scrims going on, and it is just scrims, but I feel like they're making such a fast improvement. And
I'll make it easy for you.
Okay.
I'll make it. You can swap Mutineer stuff for any of the teams. Like this league shrunk. This league shrunk to the top of the top.
True.
Of the
Even
top. Challengers
is stacked.
Yeah.
Totally.
So swap it with anyone, right? Like it's that level of competition. This year is going to be the most competitive Call of Duty season that we have ever witnessed. Period. End of story. Ever. If there was ever a time to get involved, if there was ever a time for you to tune in, if there was ever a time for you to get and engage in a league, it's right now, today, with this league, because it's going to be nasty.
Man, I'm just excited for the future of CDL, and you're completely right. Like, this is a great time to hop back in. And just speaking from my viewing experience, right? I'm not as involved as I usually am, but just from a viewership perspective, watching Cold War, the CDL kickoff recently, I really enjoyed it. I'm super happy Control is back. I love seeing some super close hard points on some of these maps. I was really invested in watching just the pure gameplay, and the talent just keeps increasing. So it's just a great time to get involved. Make sure you guys subscribe and watch some CDLs, especially these home series coming up in February.
I'm excited about the future because of the amount of young talent, but there is a lot of work to be done. There is a lot of work that you need to do as a Call of Duty player. We're one of the most talked about leagues, period, in our story because of what we've been able to do through content. So let's keep that culture alive. Be done with your scrim, but know that you're only doing half your job. You got to do the second part of your job, which is building your brand. It's for you. Gosh darn it. It's for your benefit. Here's the tip for all of you who are not on starter teams right now. There will be expansion, right? COVID messed that up. We couldn't go to events. We couldn't create the hype reels, the highlight reels. We couldn't create moments that we can put in a marketing deck to go out to potential, buyers of league spots.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. We all live that reality together, okay? But as a team, there will be an expansion. And if you want to get on the team and you're not on a team right now, you can't just continue to do the same thing that you've been doing, right? You gotta grow your brand so you become a little bit more appealing. You gotta let go of that ego, go down to challengers and continue to prove yourself. Just because you're not playing against the level of competition that you're used to playing or that you feel you deserve to be playing against doesn't mean that your job stops, right? Because there's a lot of people that are going to be fighting for those spots. They're going to be fighting for those teams. And if you've just been on the bench, not doing shit, not creating content, not playing, not supporting, not talking about it, you're not getting picked up. Okay? So now is the time for you to prove yourself again. The same way that I put it on myself to prove myself again, the same way that my players are putting themselves, to be proven again. Everybody needs to prove themselves every single year. This is competition at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you have to wake up and compete. And you can't compete by sitting there just not doing anything. You can't be stagnant. You got to move forward. You got to prove yourself every single day.
This is like a motivational episode, baby. I love it. Hector dropping bombs for the community. Get fired up, people.
Bombs. It's not even bombs. It's just
it's stuff that people need to hear, man. Yeah, people need to. You need to light the fire under people, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, buddy.
I was just saying, like, coming from you, like, it holds weight. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyways, man, there's our 5G tier list. I want to know what you guys think about the top 5 ranking for the CDL teams going into the regular season. Leave your comments. Give us your top 5. Do you agree or disagree with the list being shown? Moving on now, we got TeeP's takes. In this segment, I'm going to give you my quick hot takes on Call of Duty League teams, players, and recent events. And Hector and everyone else watching, I want to know if you agree or disagree with my takes. Okay, first, we're talking sort of the Texas bubble is what I'm going to call it. Obviously, your guys are all together here in Texas. Teams keeping their team members on site during the season versus remote. A lot of the players and the teams made this decision, and basically the majority of the league is going to be based in Texas. And I think this is great, not only for competitive integrity for the league, but also the players. It's all about improving your gameplay, right? So from my experience, working and doing scrims remotely was really tough to do. I feel like some of the boot camps that we did, when everyone was in the right mindset, and you're able to go over VODs, you're able to talk over situations in person, it's 10 times faster and easier to make an actual improvement, because you can literally walk over to your teammate, point at the screen when you're watching a VOD, be like, hey, you messed this up. You can stare them in the eye and say, hey, don't do this ever again. That holds a lot more weight when you guys, instead of just talking on TeamSpeak or whatever, and trying to make improvements that way, because it's really easy to check out. It's really easy to open up a stream on a different monitor and tune out, right? So I think long term, that's definitely what needs to happen. The bubble, thumbs up from me. Any quick thoughts, Hector?
Agreed. Yeah.
Second, LA Thieves entering the CDL under leadership of former OpTic player Nadeshot. I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't get a spot right away in the inauguration of the CDL. I totally understand. I watched a lot of videos of what their explanation was as to why, but I think not having Thieves for the brand that they built, not only on its own, but in Call of Duty, there's a lot of history there. They had a lot of success with some of their teams, especially throughout the BO4 season, making multiple championships. And you talk the viewership aspect and what Nadeshot's been able to do for Call of Duty. It was, so for those that haven't been around that long, it was Nadeshot and then it was Scump, the two guys that really brought competitive Call of Duty up throughout their YouTube, their content. They brought a lot of eyes that wouldn't have been on competitive Call of Duty before. So having someone as storied as Nadeshot back in the league, he's going to create content around the league. He's going to boost viewership. His brand is absolutely awesome. And it's going to be a nice little battle to see who can have a bigger fan base, I guess. Just a rivalry between you, Hector, and Nadeshot. I know it's a different type of rivalry because you guys have so much history. You kind of built up things together, and that's awesome. But it is what it is. Very popular fan bases going at it. Super excited. Do you think there's you think it's going to be a competitive rivalry? You think you guys are going to stomp them out the whole year?
No, I mean, look, that's my bro, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I don't know how to look. I wouldn't have convinced him to come into the league if I didn't feel like he belonged in the league. You know what I mean? Like I needed him to be in the league just for him. Because I know that he hated like looking from the outside. Yeah, I know that he hated looking from the outside. Looking in. I knew that. So when the opportunity presented itself, I literally first phone call that I made was him. And yeah, it's like he needs to be where he began, right? Like he co-wrote the book. You know what I mean? So yeah, he belongs here, right? Like there's no other person that. I mean, I'm not going to talk shit about anyone, but yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he deserves to be here. He belongs here. Not only deserve, belongs. He has no choice but to be here.
It feels right. Yeah, for what he's done so far, I think having him back in is going to be awesome. I hope his team is able to make waves, because I feel like a team with that caliber, right? It's a lot of the core pieces that they had from their previous lineups, right? So they're putting a lot of trust under, Slasher and TJ and things like that. So I think I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to see big players back in.
I can't tell you how proud I am of him, right? Or like all my boys, right? Like I love the life that we have right now. Not everybody has the honor, the privilege, and just the millions and millions of blessings to be able to do this for a living.
Right.
Like millions of people would do anything for this. And that's the responsibility that we have to remind ourselves of every single day. Like, we were chosen by something to be these people that people watch. So our job is to entertain that, no matter if it's through competition or through, these microphones and this camera.
Right. Okay. Got the Thieves back. Should be a great year for not only the Thieves, but for OpTic Gaming Chicago as well. Mm-hmm. This one's a more Call of Duty mechanics question for you. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. Are you a jump shotter or are you a drop shotter? Just going back, you're a jump shotter. Okay, so we're different. So those that followed me throughout my competitive career, I'm a drop shotter, baby. Ever since going back to COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, your hitbox would be so broken when you drop to your belly like that. And that's where I struggle a little bit in Cold War, because drop shotting, it's weird, right?
Put that attachment.
You got to have attachment on, right? But even so, there's like a weird, it's not as fluid. And then when you try and get back up, your guy like puts your hand on the ground and everything like that.
They need to bring back the Call of Duty 2 one where you can just jump and lay down, right?
Just
go from a jump up, lay down. Yeah, it's the jump up, lay down around the corner.
So you prefer a hybrid then? You're going back.
I am. I've always been the hybrid player. You know what I'm saying? I just do it all. I'm mechanical. I'm the Swiss Army of Call of Duty players.
All right, guys. You guys watching the video, leave it in the comments. Are you a drop shotter or a jump shotter? Which mechanic do you think is better? That's what I like about Warzone, though, too. Speaking on Warzone, you got your bunny hop, right? But also, when I'm playing on mouse and keyboard, the drop shot is absolutely insane as well. So that's, Warzone, you can kind of do both. But let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. That's the last one I got for TeeP's Takes. That's all we got. Hector.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed picking your brain a bit. It's kind of a weird situation for me too. Usually, I've been on your podcast a couple times. It's kind of a cool situation where I was kind of asking you questions.
Yeah, love it.
You open up a lot about not only the team but reacquiring your brand. And honestly, man, thank you for everything that you've done for me, and thank you for joining me for the episode today. I wish you the best, and I hope your team dominates and wins every single tournament this year.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of the Barracks Season 2, brought to you by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Let us know who you guys want to see on the next episode of the Barracks, and make sure you guys subscribe to the COD League YouTube for future episodes. We'll see you next time.